Good afternoon, everybody. It is 3 p.m. We're going to go ahead and get started with our financial literacy webinar presented by CalTAP and STEP. My name is Danielle Tran. I'm going to be going over a few things with you this afternoon before we go ahead and jump into the main meat of our presentations. So just a little bit of housekeeping. We do ask that you go ahead and keep your cameras off. That is to maximize bandwidth and as well as minimize distractions during our presentations. We do also ask that you keep your microphones muted as well. For the agenda today, we're going to do a very brief CalTAP overview and a brief benefits overview, just so you are reminded of what your benefits are. We're going to have someone from a local interagency network coordinator speak to you today, and then of course someone from STEP to give you the meat of our presentation. At the end of that, we are going to have a virtual question and answer panel, and this is an opportunity for you to go ahead and ask us any questions that you might have. We do ask that you go ahead and send those questions through the chat function to CalTAP questions. And depending on what that question is, we might go ahead and answer it right then and there, or we'll hold them to our Q&A portion. So this is what the instructions that you should have received through your Eventbrite would have looked like. Again, you should see the chat function potentially popping up at the bottom of your screen there, but that is where you're going to go ahead and send your questions. So let's go ahead and get started. My name, like I said, is Danielle Tran. I am a training coordinator with the California Transition Assistance Program. Ashley Daga is actually my partner. She will be working with us today. She's handling the chat on the end, but we'll make sure that my information is in there for you guys to have later. So what is CalTAP? CalTAP is designed to inform and connect all veterans to the earned state and federal benefits, and we do that through 5 ways: our core curriculum, education, entrepreneurship, employment, and our 5th pathway is for our service providers. So those who are actually serving vets, we want to make sure that they are also staying connected and informed to all the most up-to-date information so that they can best serve veterans. This is our Veterans Resource Book. This is kind of our main thing. We want to really push this out there for everybody. All of the information that I'm going to be talking over to you today is in this booklet in great detail, and Ashley is going to go ahead and send a link to that and potentially upload it into the chat so you can download it, so you have access to this at your fingertips at all times. We can't say enough of how important this booklet is. It's always going to have the information that you need to get access to your benefits and to get connected with some VA benefits as well. On our main website, that's calvet.ca.gov, you will find our CalTAP banner there. And once you go to that section, you'll be able to take a look at our 5 pathways. What I would like to point out on this page is our archive section. This webinar is being recorded, as many of our webinars have been over the last year. And this is where you can go to get access to those webinars. So if there's any portion of this presentation that you miss, or you have to go out a little bit early, you are more than welcome to visit our page within the next week to get access to this webinar, or you can go on and get access to previously recorded webinars. So how can you use CalTAP online? So going to that core curriculum pathway, that's the one I'm going to focus on this afternoon. And you'll click on that and you'll go in, you'll see everything is broken down into several different modules. Each pathway has a different number of modules for you. And it's just really designed to break information down like into piecemeal parts so that you can go through it at your own pace. I'm going to be focusing on your California benefits. And once you click on that module, you'll be able to get access to documents such as these. These are PDF documents that you can view on your computer or your phone. They do have active links in there that are going to take you to the correct place to apply for specific benefits or to get more information. And so again, anything that I'm going to be talking about today in terms of your California benefits briefly are going to be in great detail for you to go over on your website. So if there's anything that we missed or anything that you needed to get a little bit more detail on, please feel free to go to our website to get access to that. So what are your California benefits? So again, it's going to be chapter 1 in your veteran resource book, where you can get an overview of that on our module website. So let's start with the college tuition and fee waiver for veterans dependents. This does waive the cost of tuition and system-wide fees at the community college, state college, and UC system level of college. And it does cover tuition all the way out through your doctorate, depending on how long your dependent is in school. And the goal of this is to save veterans, more than $35 million a year. So in addition to that, we have our DMV programs. Our veterans driver's license allows you to put veterans on your driver's license, and this is just a way for you to be able to have your get access to any resources and benefits that other companies might offer you without having to carry on your DD-214. In addition to that, you do have honoring veterans license plates that you can get. And this again allows you to just pay homage to a veteran in your life. And then you might also be able to get a motor vehicle registration fee waiver if you are 100% disabled, if you have a mobility related disability. So in addition to that, we have some outdoor activities, which includes the fishing and hunting license, which you can get at a reduced cost use, and you can also have a no cost use for the state park pass. Our tax programs include disabled veteran property tax exemption, which you would apply for through your local county assessor's office. It does vary by each county. So again, you want to make sure you check into that if that's something you're interested in. Business license tax and fee exemptions as well need to be applied for through your local a county or city licensing authority. And then finally, disabled veteran business enterprise program allows veteran-owned businesses to, competitively do business with the state and get those contracts in order to be successful. Our Calvet Home Loans program provides financing to veterans. You can use this in conjunction with your VA home loan guarantee. They offer low or no down payment requirements and competitive market interest rates. Our Calvet Women Veterans program provides information, advocacy, outreach, and support to California's women veterans. They also partner with the Leadership Council to, again, make sure that there's always someone with you in your corner. Here's what their website looks like. You can reach out to them via email for information. They also are doing webinars to, again, make sure that everyone stays connected and informed. Similarly, we have our Calvet Minority Veterans. They're also doing information, advocacy, outreach, and support. And one of the big things that they do is helping unnaturalized veterans gain citizenship and naturalization services. Here's their website. And again, they do have an email where you can reach out to them directly for more information. Our Calvet long-term homes, we do have 8 of them located throughout California. They offer a variety of services from independent care to assisted living. So it's just a great opportunity for veterans who are of an older age to be able to be in a home with veterans just like themselves. We do have 3 state cemeteries that you can be interned at. These are in addition to the VA National Cemetery, so it just gives you an opportunity for a veteran in your life or for yourself to have their service honored at the end of life. So I'm going to go over a few common veteran websites. Again, we do this just to make sure that you're staying informed and connected, as always, to your benefits. The main one we start with is va.gov for obvious reasons. This is where a bulk of your federal benefits are going to be coming from. This is where you're going to get the most up-to-date information on these things. So this is a website that we at CalTAP and Calvet do frequent consistently, because anything that's changed related to your benefits is going to be available on this website. Then you have e-benefits as well. This is where you can apply for and manage your benefits and health benefits. And again, we do strongly recommend using this. You can get access to several wonderful, great resources on this website. So it's something that you definitely want to be plugged into. And then finally, we have My Health Event. This is where you can go to have access to your medical side of your benefits, especially if you're enrolled in VA healthcare. This is where you can renew your prescriptions, check on your appointments, make appointments, and also hold these appointments that you are going to be having with the VA. So again, this is the end of my presentation, and we just wanted to be really brief. We wanted to go over and make sure you have the correct information about what your benefits are. I will actually put my correct information in the chat. This is Ashley's, but you are more than welcome to reach out to her. But I will go ahead and put my information in the chat for you. We're going to turn it over to Merlene. I'm wondering if I have the wrong chat open. I'm gonna double check my presentation to make sure. We actually have Merlene here with you today, who's from the Inland Empire.
They said that I was Lance, but my name is really Merlene, and Lance is our San Diego region rep, so that information is wrong, but I will leave my information as well in the chat. The next slide, I'll show you which region I do represent. It should be the same information when they change the slide. Okay, so here, if you look, Lance, he does have that big green region, but I have the big red region here. And I represent Inyo, Mono, San Bernardino, and Riverside County. All of the links do basically the same functions. We interact with, next slide. the service members, the veterans, their families. We provide a network of care. Next slide, please. Oh, okay, yeah, and we work directly with service providers, and we assist with local emergencies. For example, like recently we had fires here in California, and you would find a link at the local assistance center directing the veterans where to go in events of emergencies and things. We also provide leadership and advocacy to the local communities. So you'll find us at any of the community shareholder meetings. And we meet directly with directors of all the regions and the hospitals and everywhere throughout the state. We have a direct contact to assist the veterans with. Next slide. We have we have networks in obviously in the state of California with EDD, with the state of California. We have the CVSO contacts, Calvet, but we also have it in the federal buildings as well with the medical centers and the clinics and the vet centers. Next slide. So this is Lance's information. I'm going to go ahead and leave my information in the chat. And if you need to get hold of Lance, his information is there. But thank you so much for letting me speak to you today.
Okay, let's go ahead and resume. Again, I apologize for the mix-up. We're going to go ahead and jump into our presentation with Support the Enlisted Project with Rena. She's going to be going over some great information and tools and resources around financial literacy. Go ahead, Rena.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I know we're getting towards the end of the day, so hopefully everybody's good and gotten past the midday slump. So I'm going to be talking briefly about beginning steps towards financial literacy, which really kind of starts with identifying and achieving your financial goals. Background on myself. I am the Client Services Supervisor with Support the Enlisted Project. I am also a social worker, and I'm a certified personal finance counselor. I'm also a Navy veteran, and I'm a military spouse. I've been working with the military community as a social worker for over 6 years, and maybe I'm at 7 now. I haven't done the math. And I've been with STEP for a little under a year right now. So when we talk about financial literacy, finances, or just money in general, a common term heard is budget. When you think of the word budget, what might pop into your head? For some, it might be neutral. For others, it might be more of a negative and thought of as a constraint or being told what it is you have to spend your money on each month. One of the main goals of Support the Enlisted Project is to increase your financial well-being, and that's with how you think about your finances. So instead of saying budget, we say the words personal finance plan, because it's really what it is. It's your plan to achieving financial well-being. Next slide. So what is a personal finance plan? Well, it's right in the name. It's personalized. It's your plan, and it's all of your finances and what you want to achieve and how you're going to get there laid out for you, either by month or by paycheck. I like to think of a personal finance plan as kind of like a roadmap, and you're planning a trip. You need to know where you're starting from, where do you want to end up, and how are you going to get there? What steps or turns or routes will you be taking? And of course, no plan is complete without being adjustable, because life happens and you're going to want to adjust for those bumps and detours that occur. So now that we know what a personal finance plan is, how do we build them? Well, essentially it starts off with identifying your financial goals. Next slide. So AKA, where do you want to go? We're going to give you some steps and some ways for you to identify what that financial goal is. Goal setting can be hard, but instead of trying to develop a goal right off the bat or pulling it out of the hat, it's a rhyme, we're going to brainstorm some self-reflection of what's going on with your finances right now can really help you figure out what is the goal you want to focus on. Next slide. So these are some questions you can ask yourself. what is it that you like about your finances? What is it that stresses you out? How do you feel on payday? Before your paycheck even arrives, are you already stressing because most of it's already been, divvied out to other people? What is it that's working for you? We want to do more of that. And then what is not working for you? We want to know what doesn't work so we can change it or take it out completely. And then finally, what is the difference that you want to see or feel when you're looking at your finances or thinking about your paycheck? Finding the answers to some of these questions can help you find that financial goal that's really important. It doesn't have to be a huge goal, but it has to be the goal that will help you feel better about your money and feel more secure about your financial future. So at Support the Enlisted Project, we don't take a cookie cutter approach. However, we do have some trends amongst our clients in what kind of goals that they would like to achieve. Some of these are just examples. Some of them are positive cash flow, pay bills on time, save up for Christmas, improve credit scores, reduce shopping, and much, much more, and variations of this as well. But regardless of what the goal that you want to achieve is, it needs to be your goal. Not mine, not your neighbors. It needs to be yours. So after you've done some brainstorming and you might have a general idea of like one financial goal, well, now what? How do I go from there? Well, you're going to make it an achievable goal, which is where we talk about our favorite SMART goals. I'm sure everybody's heard of a SMART goal, but just to kind of give a brief overview, it's taking a generalized goal and turning it into something actionable. It stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. If your goal is a SMART goal, you'll know your steps, when you've achieved your goal, and your deadline to meet that goal. So we're going to go through and make a simple SMART goal for something that I'm sure all of us can possibly relate to: reduce spending. You can go ahead and click the next slide. Yeah, we've got actions in our slides. So instead of just reduce spending, we're going to, it's pretty straightforward, but we're going to make it more specific. We want to find an area that we can actually focus on reducing our spending. So I put eating out, something that we can control. We can't always control grocery bills or how much gas costs, but we can control eating out. Next, we're going to make it measurable. Some people, they want to focus on the dollar amount, and for others, they want to focus on the frequency. Here, I went with frequency. So instead of eating out every day, we're just going to cut back to once a week. And here's the thing I want to point out. You've got to make this reasonable and build up to it. I didn't say I'm never eating out again, because all it would take would be one instance of eating out, and then I'm calling myself a failure. I don't want to do that. I want to give myself room to grow, room for missteps, and room for some life, because life happens. Next, we're going to make it attainable and relevant. So what actions am I going to take to make this goal attainable? So I picked packing my lunch 4 days a week, just 4. If I manage to do 5 days, yay. But if I make it to 4, yay. And then finally, time-based. When will I have this goal achieved? You want to make sure you're giving yourself enough time to accomplish this goal. Part of that is realizing how long it will take you to accomplish this goal. Some goals take longer, others not as long. Another piece of good information is how long it takes you to turn a new behavior into a habit. The average for most people is 21 days to 2 months, but for others, it might take longer. So ensure you're giving yourself the time you need to accomplish your goal. And there you go. It's a simple, but a fully developed SMART goal. So what's next? Little stuck on what to do to how to achieve your goal. Look at your past successes. Everybody here has a past success in some way, shape, or form. It might not be around finances, but I guarantee you have a past success. So think about, when was the last time you felt good about your finances? What was it that you were doing? What was going on that you had control over? Was there a time that you were a little closer to your goal? How did you get there? What were you doing then? Can we do more of that? What is something that you're doing now that works for you? Again, we're going to do more of that. And maybe think of what it will look like when you have accomplished your goal, and then sometimes work backwards from there. Sometimes that really helps people identify the steps to achieve a goal. maybe things aren't so great. You might be sitting at your screen and going, Rena, things are not going well at all. And I can't think of anything that I've been successful at in the past year. Okay, what have you been doing to keep it from getting worse? Because you've kept it from getting worse. You're here today. Things could always be worse. And what is something that you can do to work towards this goal? Just something small this month, maybe next month. Is it something you can build on? Is it a little baby step and you can take more of those to get closer and closer? These answers help you inform you of your strengths, your skills, and the steps that you can take to achieve your goal. So hopefully you're getting moving on some identifying your goals and figuring out what it is you want to achieve. So what are the next steps? Well, you've got steps 2 through 5. You're going to identify your resources. You've got personal resources. You have community resources, just like we're just talked about in this webinar. You might have professional resources, such as like affiliations. You're going to want to determine your motivation, because when things get hard, that's what's going to help you stick to the plan. And then you're going to implement the plan. Go out and do it. And then step 5, you're going to come back and do step 5 over and over and over again. And this is where you're checking on your plan, making sure that it's still working, adjusting for any bumps or detours that may have happened on your path. And of course, just checking in on your progress. You may have made more progress than you realized when you go to do a follow-up on your plan. Depending on each individual, your resources are going to vary, but I do want to take some time to talk about some of them that are available to you. Next slide. There we go. All right. So Support the Enlisted Project, where I work. We provide veterans and military families with personalized finance counseling. We recognize that everybody's different, strengths are different, goals are different, and we embrace that. We don't take a cookie cutter approach. We work with you. It's tailored to you and what you want to achieve. We start with you at step 1, and we work with you all the way through step 5 for 12 months or even longer if need be. It's focused on you. The personal finance counseling is available to all veterans and their families nationwide, and we have other programs that can provide assistance in the event of emergencies for those who have discharged in the past 18 months. To learn more about us or to reach out, you're going to go to teamstepusa.org. You're going to click on Get Help. Under there, you're going to see a bunch of different applications. You're going to click on Apply Now. We're more than eager, we're more than ready to help you achieve your financial goals and get closer to financial well-being. Another great resource that's also nationwide, 211. You pick up your phone, dial literally 211, hit call, and you're going to get connected to a live person who's going to give you local resources that are based on your demographics and your needs. You call them up and say, I'm a veteran and I need assistance with education. They're going to get you somebody who's going to help you with that. You can also check them out online at 211.org, and you can also find your local 211 resources online as well, no matter where you're at in the nation. And then finally, another great one is mymoney.gov. It's got calculators, worksheets, and checklists to help you learn more about your money, help you teach your children about money as well. It's got planners for planning life events, retirement, having a child, moving, and a ton other events. It's a really, really great resource. Everything's downloadable and it's accurate. It's a great way to learn more about your finances and making it work for you. For today, we also should have copies of personal finance plans for you to get started on. Those should be in the chat. And thank you so much for joining me today. If you have personal questions that may need more information, you are welcome to reach out to me. You can call me at that number, or you can reach out via our website. But other than that, if there's any general questions, I'm happy to answer any that may have popped up during the presentation.
Thank you so much, Rena. We really appreciate you being here with us today. So we're going to turn it over to Ashley, who has been moderating the chat, and see if we have any questions.
At this time, we do not have any questions, but I do want to put out there that I did put in the files that Rena had mentioned, in addition to the PowerPoint presentation for the webinar. So if you guys would like to download that, I suggest that you do so prior to the end of this webinar, because at this time we don't have any questions. And then I also put a link for the survey in the chat as well, which you should also receive via email. So any of your feedback would be greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Ashley. And I do want to remind everybody that we did record this presentation, even with the little snag that we had, we did pause it, so we didn't see all that all the background information. But also we did have this webinar a little bit earlier this morning at 10. And so that webinar was also recorded, and both recordings will be available on our website. So if any time you had to jump out or you came on a little bit late, the information will be available to you at a later date. So I'm going to go to our next presentation. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to go ahead and send those in. I do want to point out that we do have several upcoming webinars. Again, if there's anything that's partnered with a school that you're not associated with, we are having these webinars open to the general public. Yes, they might be hosted in partnership with a school or something else, but we do strongly encourage you guys to go on. We want you to always have the most up-to-date information, and we never want to hide this stuff. So again, if there are any webinars that look interesting to you, please go ahead and register via Eventbrite. Many of the May events are live, and we're working on getting the June events live for you to register for. So I'm going to just go to the last slide, and I want to invite Tammy to close us out. I know she's our contact at UC Riverside. If you're here and you're on and you'd like to go ahead and close this out, you can. If not, no big deal. I just like to put a face for our UC Riverside students to be able to reach out and contact somebody. But again, I'll pause it here for a second to allow you time to get access to the survey link, as well as download the presentation documents if you have them.
Hi, Danielle. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Tammy.
Hi, I just want to say, I hope that you can see me. Hello, everybody. Thank you for presenting today. Thank you for everybody that attended. UCR loves to host these, and I hope that we can do it again. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Tammy. It is a pleasure and an honor to be here presenting on behalf of UC Riverside and CalTAP. And again, if there's any questions, we'll go ahead and take those now. If not, please feel free to jot down our information. I'll actually go back to our contact page again for you guys. So if you'd like to reach out to us, oh, it went to the end. Of course it did. Let me pop that slide up for you guys so you can have our contact information. Here we go. Come on. There we go. So feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions about anything we talked about today. And again, thank you for joining us, taking a time out of your afternoon to be with us today. If you have any questions that you want to send to us forward, go ahead and do that now. And Ashley, I see you unmuted. Go ahead.
I do have one question. Let's see here. Sorry. It says, does income matter for the resources for financial counseling?
That's a question for Rena. I'm guessing. Yeah.
Yes. Sorry.
So income, like, do we have income limits? So we don't worry about what your annual income is. One of the things that we are definitely, I wouldn't say concerned about, but we're going to work to make sure that you're cash flow positive and you're going to be self-sufficient when we are done working together. Now, you might be looking at our website and see that we do have emergency financial assistance. And the only thing that's income related to that is if you were enlisted at the pay grade of E1 through E6. But for the personal finance counseling, that's open to any incomes, whether it's $10 a month or you're making $1 million a month. And that would be impressive if somebody had that much money, but no, income's not an eligibility requirement.
Awesome. Thank you, Rena. Okay, so we're going to let that close this out. Again, I'll keep this information up for a little bit longer so you guys can write it down and have an opportunity to download the things in the chat. Thank you for joining us, everybody.